This is the Voice of Turkey's English language transmission, broadcasting from Ankara in the 19-meter band between 12:30 and 13:30 UTC on 15,450 kHz Euro. You can listen to us over the Turksat 3A and 4A satellites and on the internet at www.trt.net.tr through the Voice of Turkey link. Our email address is englishdesk@trt.net.tr. Following the news and the review of the Turkish press, the Voice of Turkey will present programs Healing Spring, New Days, New Choice, and Did You Know That? But first, we start with the news. Russian missile attack hit Ukraine, killing 8 people in Kiev. Ukrainian Ministry of the Interior issued a statement saying that in Kiev 24 more people are injured. According to the statement, one of the missiles hit the region with security services in the area where head of state Volodymyr Zelensky's office is located. Upon the attacks, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said, "On the 229th day of war, we are trying to erase us from the face of the earth. Unfortunately, we have dead and wounded. Please don't leave bunkers." Kiev Mayor Vitaly Klitschko also made a statement saying, "The threat continues. All residents of the capital must remain in shelters. The central streets of Kiev have been closed to traffic. Rescue efforts continue." Ukrainian Chief of General Staff Valery Zelensky said, "This morning Russia launched 7 stealth rockets. 41 of them were destroyed by our air defense systems. Russia is not capable of waging a war on the front, but it is very capable of killing innocent civilians." Advisor for Ukraine's presidential office, Mikhail Podolyak, made a statement on his Twitter account saying, "Deliberate attacks on the center of Kiev, Zaporozhye and Dnipro, yet another proof of Kremlin's terrorist inadequacy. Russia is not capable of fighting on the battlefield, but capable of murdering civilians. Instead of talking, we need air defense and longer-range projectiles." Odessa was another target of the Russian aggression. Regional Governor Maxim Marchenko said, "Explosions were heard. Our air defense systems are working." Marchenko said 3 missiles as well as 5 kamikaze drones were shot down, and he urged people to stay inside shelters. On the other hand, Russian President Vladimir Putin said this morning that they carried out attacks on Ukraine's energy, military and communications infrastructure with long-range, high-precision weapons. Putin warned that his country could continue similar attacks against Ukraine, saying, "If terrorist acts against our lands continue, Russia's response will be commensurate and harsh with the threats against Russia. Let no one doubt that." Meanwhile, one of the buildings that were damaged in the attacks on capital Kiev belonged to the German embassy. German Foreign Ministry spokesperson Christian Wagner stated at a press conference in the capital Berlin that the building of the visa section of their embassy in Kiev was damaged by today's missile attacks. Wagner stated that the building in question has not been used for months and that no diplomats were in the building when it was hit by Russian missiles. In a related news, urgent G7 meeting to take up Ukraine developments. G7 countries, namely Germany, the US, France, the UK, Canada, Italy and Japan, and the Ukrainian head of state Volodymyr Zelensky, will hold an emergency meeting on Tuesday to discuss the latest Russian attacks on Ukraine, the German government spokesperson said. German government spokesperson Stefan Haberstreit told press members in Berlin that German Chancellor Olaf Scholz spoke to Zelensky by phone. Chancellor Scholz assured Zelensky of the solidarity of Germany and the other G7 states. Haberstreit said further that the G7 would start talks by video link at 12 GMT on Tuesday, and Zelensky would take part at the beginning of the meeting. Germany will do everything in its power to mobilize additional aid and, in particular, to help repair and restore Ukraine's damaged and destroyed civilian infrastructure, such as the electricity and heating supply. And in yet another related news, Belarus and Russia to form joint military force. Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko announced that they reached an agreement with Russia to form a joint military force. On the day of the Russian bomb attacks on many Ukrainian cities, Alexander Lukashenko had a meeting with the high command of his armed forces. Stating that he supports Russian attacks, Lukashenko announced that a joint force will be formed with Russia, but failed to state where this force will be deployed. In his statement, Lukashenko repeated his accusation of Ukraine that the country is preparing for an attack on Belarus. And moving on to Austria, exit polls in Austria indicate van der Bellen victory. According to preliminary results of the presidential elections in Austria, current President Alexander van der Bellen achieved a clear victory with 56% of the votes. The turnout was moderate as 2/3 of the 6.4 million voters took to polling stations. Upon the confirmation of the results, the current President van der Bellen will serve for a second term. Walter Rosenkrantz, the candidate of the far-right Freedom Party of Austria, came second with 18%. Upon counting of the remaining votes, most of which are those sent by postage, the official results of the presidential elections of Austria will be announced by the Ministry of Internal Affairs during the week.